Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. A lot to unpick from that game. It was a big 0-0 game actually, to be honest. Sometimes you get 0-0s and you think it's boring, but there's a lot went on in that game. So I'm just gonna really go through my thoughts on the game, who played well, who didn't play well, that kind of stuff. But to start off with, I think it was a very interesting 11 from Ten Hag. He went for something different with Bruno in the number 8 position, a bit deeper in midfield. And then we had Sancho in the number 10, Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right, and Weghorst up top. Now, I think that's a very interesting formation because he did that obviously in second half against Real Betis, and that worked really well for us. But I mean, if it wasn't for obviously the red card that we got later on, maybe we would have seen this a bit more in the second half. But first half, I think it worked all right. It created some chances, but obviously it's not optimum in terms of Bruno hasn't really played there for us much, but I think it could work. It could work going forward. However, obviously we've got that red card with to Casemiro, and I think he misses 3 or 4 games because this is his second yellow red card of the season. So it's not great because it looks like we're going to be back to a McTominay, Fred midfield unless Sabitzer comes back in because he was out today with injury as well. But in terms of the half, first half, like I said, I think we started off all right. From memory, it was a pretty open game, to be honest. De Gea had to make a save that I can remember from Walker point blank, and this is why I was saying in the last video or last match reaction that we can't go into De Gea too much. Like fair enough, he's got distribution issues, but in terms of shot stopping and saving goals, I don't think there's many better than him in the Premier League. So yeah, good save for him. In terms of how we played in that first 20-30 minutes. Before Casemiro got sent off, I think we played all right. I think we were controlling the ball. We had someone to go into the game a little bit, go into the game quite well. But obviously, like I said, it was very open. It was back end to end. Southampton were pretty decent, to be fair. But then obviously Casemiro gets sent off. Now, I think that was harsh. I think the referee had a shocking game personally overall. We'll go into it in a minute with another decision that he made that went against us. But I think that was a bit harsh, like he went in for the tackle, got the ball, and then fair enough, his foot went on top of the ball and then it rolled up onto the guy's leg. Now, the rule I think before was if you tackle over the ball, then you get a red card. You're on top of the ball, that kind of stuff. But I think it was harsh. I mean, the yellow card which he gave in the first place was fine, and then VAR decided to get involved. He decided to go check the screen and gave the red card. It's a shame, really. It's just unlucky, but I don't think it was a red card, personally. I'm probably biased, but you can watch it back. I don't think it was a red card. And then, like I said, I think generally the referee had a shocking game anyway. We had later on in the half, I think it was Rashford that crossed it in, or someone crossed it in anyway from the left-hand side. And Lavio, or whoever it was from the Southampton defenders, he was on the floor and he basically handled it, hit his arm. And they're like, I think the commentators that I was on the stream I was watching was like, it rolled up his thigh or something. I was like, what game are you watching here? Like, it was definitely, in my opinion, a yellow card. Sorry, a handball. But yeah, we didn't get it, and it's a bit weird because it feels like these things are happening. I'm pretty sure the same thing happened against Real Betis. It's just odd to me. With the Real Betis goal, right? These referees need to pull their finger out and sort themselves out because that could have been, if we had Casemiro for that whole game, I see us winning that game, a 0-0, and it was a very comfortable kind of back and forth, but comfortable 0-0. It wasn't like we were back to the wall. We were controlling the play. We were on the ball quite well, to be fair. So have Casemiro on for the whole game, we'll probably win that game. Even if without Casemiro, we get that penalty, back to the wall, we see out the 1-0 win. But anyway, second half then comes. We had to be patient, I think, and the team showed patience. Showed good resilience, I would say. I think that's my overarching takeaway from this game. The team was very resilient, and to be honest, overall, I will take that 0-0. You could say that we wanted to win, we needed to win, but what are our aims in the Premier League? Is what I'd ask, right? Right now, I think our aims in the Premier League is just to secure that 3rd place position. I don't see us getting into the first 2 positions, really. I think that is for Arsenal and Man City to battle out. Obviously, we all were like, we're in a title race, but after the whole Liverpool debacle and, the points dropped here and there, I don't think really we could be seen as a, title challenger in that sense. But otherwise, I think, like I said, I think we can secure that first place position, and if that is our goal for now in the Premier League this season, then a 0-0 against Southampton, fair enough, bottom of the league, but gone down to 10 men, I don't think that's too bad. I think we can take that, go into the next game, and obviously win the next game in the Premier League. Now, obviously, we all wanted to see a reaction from the last Premier League game. And I think, like I said, I think we were just a bit unlucky with that red card and lack of penalty, the poor refereeing decisions. We had some good chances. Obviously, Southampton had some good chances too. But Bruno hit the post. They hit the post a couple of times as well. Crossbar post, whatever it is. Pedestrian Canacho coming on at around 70, 73 minutes. Change, I won't say change the game, but it gave us a bit. What it showed was Ten Hag wants to win the game, right? He wants to go for it. Obviously, then Garnacho had his little injury. He got fouled. Okay, it wasn't a foul. He got the ball, but he got injured, right? And then he tried to carry on, couldn't really carry on. So yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I'll take that as a 0-0. You can't complain too much. When you go down to 10 men. In terms of my man of the match, I don't think I'm going to give a man of the match for this game. When it's 0-0, it's a bit of a tight game. Going back though, it's not, like I said, I'm not giving a man of the match, but you have to big up there for the couple saves that he made. And I'm only doing this because we always find issues with De Gea, right, with his distribution and everything. And we didn't really have any distribution issues today. Maybe the team decided not to play that way as much, especially not the same way we played against Betis anyway, or the same issues we had against Betis with De Gea. But yeah, so overall, happy with that, I think. Well, maybe happy is the wrong word, but I'll take that. And let's move on to the next one. We've got a second leg against Real Betis coming up now. Let's win that game. Let's get through to the next round. Probably make some rest some players. Obviously, Casemiro's out now for the next, I think it's 3 or 4 games because of this straight red card. So we're gonna have to kind of deal with that going forward. But at least he can play in that second leg against Real Betis. And then yeah, let's just keep it pushing. We're still 7 points ahead of, I think, 5th place, which is Liverpool. So you can't really complain too much. Actually, it's 8 points because obviously we've drawn, so we're 8 points ahead of 5th place now. But yeah, so going forward, obviously, like I said, we've got that Real Betis game. Then we've got the next game in the FA Cup against Fulham, which will be a good game. And then we've got that international break. So I think the players probably need a bit of a rest anyway. So it would be quite good to get that rest. And then come back fresh for the next few Premier League games. So yeah, the issue, I guess, from this game, the negative from this game is that, well, okay, one, we didn't get the 3 points, but we're consolidating our 3rd place position. I don't see us losing that spot. 2, Casemiro being out for 4 games. I'm pretty sure it's 4 games with that red card. So, but the good thing, I guess, is we've got this international break coming up after that FA Cup game. And yeah, well, hopefully, Ten Hag will have a plan for us as always. And yeah, so look out for more videos on this channel. Thanks for watching the video, as always. And stick a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I would recommend subscribing and maybe sticking notifications on because, as I mentioned, we've got the international break coming up. I'm going to try and throw out a couple of videos, maybe, over the international break. So yeah, look out for that. Obviously, I'll still do some match reactions to the next couple of games coming up as well. Like I said, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.